Hey everybody. So I was at the beach today and I decided to pull some cards. And it's pretty cool because they kind of go hand in hand. Um, as we learn in life, we learn that things aren't always what they seem and things aren't always what we think it's going to be, exactly what I just said. But sometimes we feel that things should go one way or things should go another way. A little backstory: when I was 18, I decided I was going to move out on my own, and it was going to be great. I was going to do really well. I was going to do, my life. I was going to do great and blah blah blah. And I had so many, who I thought were amazing people, but it all ended up just being an interest. And people around me, I was robbed, drug addictions everywhere around me. I ended up homeless, apartment caught on fire because of my roommate's crackhead brother. Like, so much had happened with me, and I can honestly say that I'm still standing here and I'm still forcing life to happen and making sure it happens for me. One thing that I've always kind of had was the ability to pull myself out of a negative situation and recognize that. And sometimes we forget to do that. But sometimes in doing that too, we want to control everything, and that's not always a good thing either. We have to let universe happen, and those experiences that I went through were things that I'm able to sit here and talk to you guys about this now and talk to you about my experiences in life and things like that. And, you know, life is a very interesting thing. And, as long as we keep pushing forward and we see things from so many other levels, it's not just a level of your negativity or your positivity. The other day, considering everything that I've been going through, I reached out to somebody who was amazing support, and she helped me see things a different way, and here I am. I'm always trying to live positive, 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 positive. That's the way we need to be. We always need to be positive. We need to just, think the positive things. But she was right. It's okay to be in between the lines of negative and positive, because that's when we become aware of our emotions. That's when we become aware of what's really going on. And in my studies, I learned today, which was really cool. That's kind of why I want to do a video today, was, we have to be able to understand that our mind and our gut are one and the same. They actually, our brain and our intestines actually produce the same chemicals. The only things that produce different chemicals in our body are our thyroid and our ovaries for women. They're the only ones that, completely have a different organism and a different way of producing hormones, and not hormones, but like electricity and things like that. So everything always goes in. And following your gut instinct is something that your brain is trying to tell you. So if your gut is telling you, that's probably not a good situation to be in, pay attention to that. But if your gut gets butterflies or things like that, that's the serotonins and that's the things in your mind that are being released. And those are things that we need to pay attention to, whether or not it's bad or good or anything like that. And we have to learn how to listen to ourselves. And I'm not meaning by listening to our voice. I mean by listening to our bodies and listening to what our bodies are telling us. So it's funny that these cards kind of came up, because one of the cards is one of my favorite cards, and she makes me happy when I do see her. But again, I'm using Alana Fairchild's cards. Got a phone call coming in. I am using Alana Fairchild's cards, the Chris Mandalia Oracle, and the Sacred Rebel cards. They're my beautiful cards, and I love them to pieces. The first card that I'm going to read out is... I want to do the Mandalia card. Ascended Master Hilaron and the green Chirophase? I don't know, but whatever it is. Beautiful card. Beautiful. I'm going to read you some parts of it just because it's easier that way. There is an expression that all glitter is not gold, and that appearances can be deceiving. This does not mean that we must greet the world as if all appearances with suspicion and distrust. It does mean to be wise, to trust what you feel and the sense of happening beneath the surface, even if it seems directly opposed to what you're being said or what many others may believe. In saying that, we always reach out to get opinions from other people. And even sometimes we just need validation that what we were feeling is what we were feeling and things like that. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. No matter what, we have to trust our own instincts, okay? And that's one thing that we have to learn along the way. If intuition or instinct is nagging at you, then it's trying to communicate something with you. Listen, take your time, and feel your authentic response. It's the intelligent use of your intuition and your instinct that will help you navigate through the multitude of choices available to you every day and choose what best serves your life journey. Discernment is non-judgmental. It sees clearly without emotion. It is neutral, accurate, and compassionate. It does not try to make things other than what they are, nor does it make excuses or condemn anyone or anything. It will, however, let you know loud and clear what is right for you and what is not. So that's when we're paying attention to our intuition and our gut feelings, and our mind play a good part. It's those moments that we have to sit back and realize that something's different here. Whether or not if you feel like you don't want to talk to somebody anymore, but you keep getting that thing, talk to them. Your mentality is saying no, your logical side is saying no, and then the other side is saying no. There's reason there. You got to keep doing it, or there's reason to reach out, and there's da. But you know what? You have to, at the end of the day, realize that, you have to put yourself at a basic level, and you have to pay attention to what's going on the inside. Sometimes the best way to discern the truth is stop trying to work it out or step back. Ask the universe to show you what you need to know and get on living your life as best as you can from the place of loving trust and inner peace. Sometimes that's what needs to happen, is we need to disconnect from ourselves and kind of just come to terms with things on our own level. That meaning, having to come to our own realizations. My situation with a few people was always, don't talk to them anymore. It's not worth it. It'll get better. Move on, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? If I had continuously done that with one certain person, he wouldn't be one of my best friends right now. And I'm very thankful for that. Like I always say, he drives me absolutely bonkers, but there's a reason why he's still in my life. And no matter how many times we tried to disconnect from each other, especially when he pissed me right the fuck off and I was like, okay, enough is enough. Within months, it was like, okay, I need to talk to him. He kept coming up in my mind, and I just felt like it was the right thing to do. And you know what? Things may not always be perfect, but I'm glad that I have him as my friend. Sometimes we take advice from other people and we don't realize that their advice is just what mainstream society says and what people think is the right thing to do. And sometimes the right thing to do is actually the wrong thing to do, because you're not following your true self and you're not following your true intuition. If I never moved out at my own and I wanted to, it's not like my parents were bad, it's not like they ever treated me wrong. I was ready to move out on my own. And if I never made that choice and I never did that on my own behalf, I wouldn't be here where I am today. I'm not saying I'm in a perfect situation, because my God, I'm at my age, and I'm still figuring out my life, and that's okay. But I wouldn't have gained the experience that I had. And sometimes I look back on those moments when I was 18, 19 years old and realize, wow, I went through a lot. And here I am, and I'm still living, and I got this, and sometimes it's easier said than done. Especially with a broken heart, or, you've been betrayed or anything like that. Like, it's not easy, but it's all in how we look at the experiences that make a difference. So I love that card came up. And then this other card came up, and she's so cute. It's the Sacred Fool. She's one of my favorite cards. She comes up with the message of, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what, others say. Don't be afraid to make leaps. Don't be afraid to grab the bull by the horns. Don't be afraid to live your truth and live the experience that you need to do. One thing that I did read in my writing, in my schoolwork today was, a human cannot be truly happy with themselves if they don't accept themselves fully. And that's everything. Their flaws, their thoughts, who they are, their emotions, everything, and live life to its full potential by doing things that people may frown upon because they might be scared. But when we're consumed by fear, and we allow fear to control our desires and our passions, we are the ones that aren't living anymore. And we are not making a good conscious effort in ourselves to move forward and live the best possible life and open our third eye and open our mind and just completely embrace life for what it is. And sometimes we forget that we are stronger than what we really are. And I'm just going to read some of it because I think it's really cool. The fool is a great rebel at the thwart of convention of the truth, to tell the truth without restraint. Your heart is a wonderful, powerful, sacred fool. It comes not in the right way to do things. It does not care what the mind says is real or not. It's living according to your inner wisdom that cannot be dictated or controlled by anything else. It loves, it lives, and it is what it is. If it says to you, don't try to be appropriate. Don't try to be socially acceptable and worry what others think. Think about what you are doing. Just be. If you want to wear a mad hat whilst doing so, fine. Okay. Basically, if you want to wear a funky hat, fucking do it. Just enjoy it and go for it. Who cares what other people say? I shave my head. Well, you can't really see it, but I shave my head and people think I'm nuts, but I feel great and I feel good about it. I like shorter hair on me. It suits me and it is what it is. And if you don't like it, don't fucking look. The sacred fool in you trusts life completely. It would never occur to this part of you to try to outsmart life or resist the flow of it. It recognizes that the mind is a monkey puppet on strings. More often than not, it is cajoled into fear when it wants to be playful, dwelling in the radical spontaneity of life. So the sacred fool urges your mind to let itself be pulled into the joy of your heart. Do not fear and doubt by being controlled by machines of mass media. It's time for you to let life happen in completely unreserved, unscripted way. The more bizarre, left of field, unexpected, apparently ridiculous, the better. And this might not feel safe or appropriate at first, but that's okay. It's actually a good sign. It's a sign that you are breaking with your own self-imposed conventions, and it is time to move beyond them now, bigger than life is calling for you. You know what? In saying that, I never thought I would be homeless. I never thought that in life I would be living out of a car for a bit, sleeping on my friend's broken futon, trying to make a life for myself. I never thought in my life that I would follow my heart and stay with somebody for 2.5 years while they were in prison after lying to me for 3 months. But you know what? I'm thankful for those moments. I'm thankful that I took the courage and I lived those moments and I got to feel those things and I got to experience them. Even though some of them sucked, it was some of the best times of my life, one of the best experiences of my life. And everything is so unconventional. And that's one thing that I always believed in, that if there's love and there's trust and you just know and you have faith in what will be, then let it be. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I know it sucks sometimes to think that, and I go through it and it's normal. But when you take risks and you move forward in life, it's amazing the things that come out of it, whether or not you think it's good or not at the time. What makes you feel good and what makes you continue to feel good should not be something that you want to let go of. And whatever makes you scared, it's something that you should fucking go after. Live your life, because that fear is only temporary. That fear is only temporary until you experience the moment and you realize that it was nothing to be scared about in the first place. I first went on a plane, then I actually thought maybe one day I'll actually jump out of one. I'm scared shitless of heights. But it's one of those things where, you know what, I'm scared, but I might try it one day just to say it was probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And in saying that is be a fool. Be a fool. Take risks. Be spontaneous. And just let life happen. And the more you embrace these positive aspects and the more you embrace life, the happier you're going to be at the end of it. When you rest your head at night and realize that you did everything that you could to make yourself happy, then that's all that matters. Here I am, 34 years old, single, no kids, and I have people like, oh, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? Blah, blah, blah. You know what? When it happens, it happens. Until then, you got to find out for yourself who you are. And, I still have so much potential. Like at the end of the day, I know I'm more than just a hairstylist. And that's why, with my tax money, I decided, no, I'm paying for school and I'm going to do school and I'm going to be more than just a hairstylist because I know I'm more than that. And I know I can put my mind to the potential. I may have not finished college the first time around, but it made me realize that I'm actually smarter than I ever gave myself credit for. And it's those little things that I have to trust in myself. And I'm excited to be a fool and I'm excited to see where things are going to take me. Every day that passes, it's going to get better. And I just know it. And you know what? That's one thing that we have to keep remembering, that it's one day at a time and it's all we can do. So peace and love.